Friend, when a man opens his Bible and lets the pages fall where God laid them, he'll find the Sabbath laid out straight and solemn, not twisted up by the notions of men. The Lord didn't stammer nor speak in riddles when he carved those commandments in stone. He said what he meant, and meant what he said. And he laid the Sabbath down as a day in which no labor was to be done. None by you, none by your son or daughter, none by servant or stranger within your gates. Exodus 20:10 sets it down like a stake in hard ground. Thou shalt not do any work. And Exodus 31:15 tells us plain the weight of it. Whosoever doeth any work therein shall surely be put to death. That's not soft talk. That's the steel edge of the law. Out yonder in those old days, a man wasn't to kindle a fire on the Sabbath, Exodus 35:3. Not strike a spark, not rouse a flame. But you look around today, and you'll find plenty who claim they're keeping the Sabbath, and yet will spark up a whole engine block just to go loaf in town. That car under them has fire in its belly, gasoline catching flame with every turn of the crankshaft. A man who lights that fire has done the very thing God said not to do. Same goes for turning on the lights, or flipping on the radio, or letting the internet run. Somebody's laboring somewhere to send you that power. You lean on those things, and you've hitched your Sabbath wagon to someone else's work. Scripture said not only that you do no labor, but that you cause no other man to labor on your behalf. Now, I've crossed paths with a good many folks who swear up and down that they keep the Sabbath, but I've yet to meet the first soul who actually kept it as God commanded Moses. Many want it both ways. They want to feel extra holy by taking the Sabbath to themselves, then shape it into a thing that pleases them, and tell the Almighty He'll simply have to be satisfied with it. That's not how righteousness works. God never asked a man to whittle His commandments down to fit the man's liking. Some will quote Leviticus 23:3, 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. And they'll stop there, quick as a rattler striking, saying, see, that means a church meeting. But if they'd just keep reading, if they'd look at the whole verse, they'd see the Lord saying, Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. Your dwellings, your own home. Not a temple march, not a stroll across town, not a gathering that makes you start a fire or cause another soul to labor so that you can reach it. The holy convocation on the Sabbath was a gathering within your household, a solemn, reverent observance right under your own roof. You remember those Pharisees dogging the Lord's heels about the corn plucked on the Sabbath? They claimed holiness, but weren't even home where the commandment planted them. If they'd been in their dwellings like the law required, they'd never have seen Jesus pluck the first ear of grain. They knew because they were out and about, breaking the very commandment they accused Him of breaking. It's the old way of hypocrites. Point fingers with a hand dirtier than the one they accuse. But into all this, Jesus spoke a truth wide and deep as a canyon. The Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Mark 2:27. The Sabbath wasn't a chain, but a rest, a gift, a breathing space in the weary swirl of life. Yet man turned it into a burden, a badge, a way to make himself feel taller than his neighbor. Folks still do it today. Now, as for me, I've got no quarrel with a man resting on Saturday and setting his heart on the Father. That's good. And I'll gladly step through the church door come Sunday, the first day of the week, and lift my voice in praise with other believers. I don't call Sunday the Sabbath. I call it worship. And I know that when we gather, some labor so that place can open its doors. Electricity hums, water runs, lights burn. Somebody's working. So best to be gracious, walk humbly, and not throw a stumbling block before brethren who serve. But deeper still is this: Christ is our Sabbath. In Him we find the rest our souls thirst for. In Him the weariness of the law gives way to the ease of grace. The old Pharisees may be long gone, but their spirit lives on in every man who puts tradition above truth, or pride above Scripture. As for us, we're called to fix our eyes on Christ, not on the watchful faces of men who see only what they want to see. So stand by the book, stand by the truth as written, and walk in the rest Christ gives, for He is Lord of the Sabbath, and in Him the weary find peace.